Naka Khusnam bakansai ki laingut ki khlur tiewdohmaw jong kajela pynkup buram ka anu Rana Riti Academy bat ka Media Plus. Kanto bro egi prangut ki khlur na kajela Asam. Hagani kasngila pynkup buram ya uba tanbor swear da ka Khusnam Rana Kharkongngor bat da ka Khusnam Riti ya uba daminot Jewankar bat ka kong Adlin nong Khonglam. Bat kubai ki bala sya pynkup buram na Asam da ka Khusnam Media Plus. Ikantup ya Dr. Naren Nazarika, senior journalist, editor of Dain Din, Bharta, Nang Anjuna Gagoy, Sukleshwar Nat, Usha Moni Saikia, Bat Kiwai. Nakaliang uba po lengdo, Menteri Deriti, Bat Mati Tau, Bat Suwari, Ha Kaba Ulayro, Ikasenjuk, Balapenlong ya kani kakam, Ba Kedai Ban Perto, ya Senyang, Jong Kiriu Tibet, Kiba ke Imlang Salang, Kamdakan Mausyo. Bopol la kren ro bun ki aka kamtam ki ba kantiwi ka mati thau ha ka jala daga ba bukti dagi Khusnam bakarpang naga benta ka mati thau bat balapan kala karteng no ya ka sikpak sya ka slam la riti.
Arts and culture as a department, I've always been told that it's a minor department. Today I wonder, I've spent more than half the day engaged in what was called as a minor department. It certainly is not minor. There is nothing more gratifying, more consoling, more a source of inspiration than the arts. And music has that ability. The sublime art of music has that ability to not only arouse passion, but also to connect humanity. I was at Thailand recently and listening to a piece of music that was played in the background, which takes me home because it has all the elements of a traditional Khasi song. Therefore, the synergy that we can provide through arts and culture, tourism and textiles is wondrous. Friends, Frederick has highlighted some of our initiatives. We're going to take the art to a level that has never been done in the past. We started off with the International Film Festival here as soon as I took over as Minister in Charge, Arts and Culture. And yesterday there was a panel discussion at what has been known all along as SICPAC, the Shillong International Center for Performing Arts and Culture. Upon chancing upon that name, the acronym SICPAC, I said, let's start with this. Why have SIC in arts and culture? It should be a healthy department. So we've decided to rename it as LARITI, International Center for Performing Arts and Culture. I think subconsciously we took a cue from Barafel and his Riti Academy. And the album remains an iconic album that is followed today by close to 3 lakh followers on YouTube. Back home, I have a small jam pad, and on top of the door of the jam pad, I have a picture of Lumajao with Dr. Bhupen Hazarika and Khasi. And in fact, I think it was Dr. Satyendra who wrote an entire book on some of the words that Khasi and Asmis have in common. let's learn each other's language. It's so very important. And what best to connect us unless you have the arts? In the Khasi tradition, the oral tradition of the origin of mankind, we have the theory, the myth of Ki Khandai Trap and Ki Hinyo Trap, the 7 hearts and the 9 hearts. The 7 hearts are supposed to be us, Homo sapiens, living below, and the 9 hearts are supposed to belong to a divine heavenly family. But when you look at the muses and how the Greeks defined the muses, the 9 muses represent the 9 arts. And the Khasi concept of Khandai Trap, 9, Khandai meaning 9. Khandai Trap itself would connote that above humanity are the arts, the 9 arts, which are heavenly. I would like to propose that we propagate this thought, expand this philosophy, and get it recognized internationally. We have Mr. Tiewdohmaw who can do better at that because his interface with customers have a class that generally does not stop before 2 hours. I could see a few heads nodding and a few shaking, but I'll stick to Shakespeare and his dictum that brevity is the soul of wit. In fact, I have that in my office chamber. Brevity is the soul of wit. Kat banang keren kendiat, kat tanang snow tenat. Dengan bat yang pertama. Gidan hang ni, ban lek buram, ban kenmau, ban pertu, ya usen yang jongki niki. Kaitor ki jongi, Pak Tanbor, Swear, Pak Taman Wankar, Kong Adlin Kong Lam, ngait kini langut mah, Pak Ban Mauru, ya Kerenyang, Senyang, Jong Pak Rana Kharkongngor. I have always been a huge fan of Pak Rana Kharkongngor and know most of his songs by heart. So I'm happy that his grandchildren have followed his footsteps, and I'm sure this is a legacy, the rich legacy that he left behind will continue to inspire and reinvigorate us, because as the saying goes, music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday living. But Tanbor Swear, Asngap Ikijin Rajong Pi, Kumukunarit, Shat Kinrem, Sladiing Blayab Stai are some of my favorites. But Daminat, Wankar, Kong Adlin, both of them were part of a musical initiative to celebrate through music the 20th year. Multifarious, but at the core of it, we would like to ensure that there is a synergy between the arts and livelihood. There should no longer be that concept that music does not pay, that the art does not pay, that one actually looks down upon musicians. I recall the day that I traveled to Guwahati when Dr. Bhupen Hazarika died. And we stopped at one of the few shops that opened because they were dealing with essential commodities. And it was really heart touching to remember that throughout our being at that particular store, they kept playing his music. And today, as we honor these achievers in the performing art and in music, I was reminded of one single fact, that Dr. Bhupen Hazarika was actually invited to unveil his life-size statue while he was alive at Guwahati University. Generally, among Qasis, we tend to only honor the dead and the departed. So this is something I think we have learned from our brothers and sisters in Assam. Today we have these achievers in the field of music, and we honoring them while they could still be part of that gathering.